Hey, what's going on, guys? Lag here, and thank you for joining me today again for a Nioh 2 build video. Alright guys, before I officially start talking about the gear I'm using in this build video of mine, I would like to start off with talking about the negatives, with that being 3 of them I believe that I have in my opinion. With the first one starting off, the Phantom Yōkai shift form. If you are not comfortable with using this particular form, this build may not work for you. And the reason I say that is because this build isn't designed for you to be reckless. This is just for general gameplay, and when you do need to burst counter, I do understand that quite a bit of friends of mine and other guys have a bit of trouble using the phantom form. If I can give a quick tip, the best way to use that particular form is to think of it as a feral and not move at all. And the window of evasion time, it seems to be the exact same. Alright, number 2. The armor is heavy. This is a heavy armor build. If you do not like to wear heavy armor, again, this will not work for you. Alright? And 3, with the next one, or the last one being, if you do not like to use fast-hitting weapons, such as the Tonfas, which are my favorite weapons, Switchglaive, Kasurigama, or the Dual Blades, then this build may not work for you. Alright? So with that being said, those are my opinions. You could still attempt to use this build if you would like, but I just wanted to get that out there before someone, says that this doesn't work with an axe or an ODACHI. I haven't attempted to test those weapons because of the theory that I had in my mind before I put this build together. Alright, with all the rambling out of the way, let me go ahead and get started. So what I'm using in this build, guys, and also I like to say this, I'm not actually currently holding a Yasukani at the moment. I haven't been lucky enough to get that yet, but I'm hoping to get one soon. So with this build, I'm using, of course, my favorite weapon, the Tonfas again. And the reason I like to use the Tonfas due to this, the way this build works for me, is they're fast-hitting weapons. And with some of the buffs that I currently have on my setup, I feel the Tonfas or Dual Blades work best due to the fact that you can constantly keep attacking. Well, you can't keep attacking when you run out of ki, but you can keep landing hits. And the reason I'm using lightning again on this build is due to the fact that I feel lightning is very good to use because of its sloth-like effects, like I stated in my last build video. And that works well against enemies that aren't strong against lightning. So, I like to think of it as sloth without using sloth. But also, the reason I'm using lightning on my Tonfas as well is due to the fact that this is how my setup works with the Guardian Spirit I'm using, which I'll go over with you guys in a moment. As my secondary weapon, I just picked this up actually, and I was using this in the last video. I was using another version. This is the Raigen's Claw Switchglaive. The Switchglaive works just as well in this build. And of course it has lightning. And with that being said, I'm using lightning again to correlate with the effects of the sloth again, and because of the Guardian Spirit I'm using. Your ranged weapons don't necessarily matter. You can choose whatever you want. Alright. Now, for my helmet, I'm using a helmet called the Braided Straw Helmet. And the reason I'm using that is because I would like to just, for example, if you get into a situation, or if I get into a situation where it's just basically, all out war and you're about to wipe, I like to think of this as a last resort, because what happens is once you hit crit phase and your health, this will automatically start to heal you. But bear in mind, when you start to heal with this proc, it only happens one time and then there's a cooldown. And with that cooldown, what I mean is once it procs, when you see the rejuvenation symbol, it will not keep healing you. It will go down consistently until it runs out. And then if you have healed completely by the time it has run out, if you run low on your health again, it will proc again. So to be fair and to create, fair gameplay, I'm glad they did that, because if they didn't do that, this will be literally a god build if your rejuvenation kept proccing like that. So anyway, that's that. And of course, on here I have lightning resistance, tenacity. That's a given if you play Nioh 1. And I'm using ki. I like to try to get as much ki as possible on my build. I just feel like I'm running out a lot of ki, or maybe it's just because I'm so low rank. I'm not 750 like I was in the last game. So, all right. And for my next chest piece, I would like to say this too, guys. There are, in my opinion, 2 variations of this build you can rock with if you choose. I do not remember where I picked this text up. Yōkai, correct? The Yōkai text. I don't remember where I picked that up. I'm sorry about that. But the reason I'm using this is due to the fact that whenever you're fighting in general, as you can see up top, each piece provides a percentage of what chance you can get to auto recover your life when you kill an enemy. Now, you could rock with 4 pieces of this if you have a Yasukani and get the 5-piece bonus. but I'm rocking with 2 pieces because I don't naturally feel like that's necessary, and I'll explain why with the next piece I'm wearing. So on this chest piece, again, like, I'm using life recovery. That correlates with me using certain talisman, and as you can see, I get life recovery. So whenever I'm attacking or when I kill something, I'm absorbing Amrita. I'm also absorbing health. I'm using untouched magic to help with, you know, getting a better chance of not using certain talismans. Damage taken, that's personal preference. I don't necessarily feel that's you need it, due to the fact that the reason I designed this build is to keep you from hopefully getting into that state. But we all know this is Nioh. Stuff happens, you know. So, and again, guys, if you don't know, you can roll weapon damage on your chest. I'm using Tonfa damage again in defense. All right, and for my gloves, guys, I'm using Tatanashi. And for my Tatanashi gloves, I like to use projectile damage taken, attack, toughness. I'm going to explain something about toughness I learned too. And the resistance, that's personal preference. Now, let me go back as to why I said I'm not using yōkai 5-piece bonus. When I eventually get my Yasukani, I'm going to rock 3 pieces of Tatanashi. And the reason is because I'll get a damage bonus as well with a 3-piece Tatanashi. But also, I'll be getting projectile damage reduced, you know, a bit of damage reduced in general. And, you know, that'll, that's how I'll rock mines when I get my Yasukani. But for right now, I have to roll with what I'm rolling with until I get that. So, you know, the build would definitely be better in general once you get that Yasukani, so you can get that 1 gear reduction piece bonus that you guys should know about if you play Nioh 1. Alright. These pants I'm wearing, I didn't roll these pants, and I don't necessarily have them rolled the white. They're not the preferential pants I'm wearing right now, is because I'm actually using tenacity on my helmet as well. So if I were to keep these pants, I would just roll off tenacity and put on, you know, winded recovery or something like that, you know, to get a bit of a better bonus, you know. So life, that's personal preference if you want to use that. Ideally, I would put a resistance there, or, you know, some sort of dodge key consumption or something like that. Reduction in key consumption. So, you know, that's that. I don't believe you can get untouched Omnio magic on your pants. I went broke quite a few times already trying to roll certain things, and I had to reload my save file, and I didn't see where you could get untouched Omnio on your pants. So, and again, I'm using the yōkai on my knees. On my legs, and that will help increase the chances, as you can see up top, of me getting auto life recovery when I kill an enemy. Now, also, guys, the way I still believe this works too as well is, like I stated earlier, with the braided straw helmet, with you getting that recovery as soon as you go into crit phase. I do believe it works the same way for killing enemies. So with that being said, what I mean is when, let's say you kill 3 enemies, for example, and the first one you kill, it gives you that auto recovery bonus. So I believe once you kill that 1 enemy, and if the game wanted to give you the bonus for killing the next 2 enemies, it would only work 1 time, which means that once it runs out, by the time you get to killing the 3rd enemy, and if the game decides to give you the bonus again, then you will get the auto life recovery. So that's, you know, that's that for yōkai. And that's also one of the reasons I don't feel, like I said, personal preference, I don't feel it's necessary to rock all 5 pieces of that. You know, just a few, and there you go. Okay. Next, I'm using actually the same talismans I used in my last build video for my confusion build. And I have on here, I just basically rolled damage taken over time, you know, as you're burning up or you scorch, you know, just kind of get some damage reduction there. And the most 2 important to me on here is the key and the untouched magic. So, alright, again, same thing. Most 2 important to me, key, untouched magic. I mean, they're basically rolled the same way, except the top, which is stealth and poison resistance. Alright, now let's get into my talismans. So for my talismans, guys, I'm using rejuvenation. If you don't know how rejuvenation works, I'll tell you. You simply use it and it'll heal you. Alright, as the course of time goes on until it runs out. Alright, for the next talisman I'm using, which is probably not even necessary, the Steel Talisman. And this is just to enhance your armor already, you know, to make you a little bit more tankier. Alright. One of the most important talismans I feel necessary to this build is this one right here, which is the Extraction Talisman. And the way this works is as you're attacking stuff, while this is up, you'll be extracting Amrita. And with that being said, as you're extracting Amrita, if we go back up top to my chest piece up here, boom, you're getting life recovery as well. But also, there is something I forgot to mention to you guys as well that I also have on my build. This right here, Life Drain Melee Attack. You want to make sure you have that as well to kind of help compensate with getting more life drain from the Amrita that you're absorbing. Alright? I don't recall saying that if I, did. From Extraction, guys, we're going down to Life Leech. Life Leech is, in my opinion at this time, considering what I've seen so far with this build, it's personal preference. If you just want to use Life Leech, go right ahead. You know, if you want to go all out with it, go ahead. But honestly, on my personal playthrough, when I'm farming and grinding, I'm going to be using the Carnage Talisman to just get more damage out of this build. I don't feel Life Leech is important. For one, it only works for the single enemy you launch it at. It doesn't work for all enemies once you launch it. Once you throw it at whatever target you throw it at, boom, that's what it's working for. So, again, Life Leech is personal preference, but I just basically wanted to show it along with this build how it worked when I did use it against Nioh and whatnot. So, all right, and excuse me. And for my next set of items, I'm using simply Elixir, Sticky Pot. Just been messing around with this. This isn't necessary. You don't have to use Sticky Pot. This one is a good one, guys. I don't know how many of you guys know about Barrier Talisman, but if you don't know anything about it, I'll give a quick explanation. Barrier Talisman simply works for two things. It works for Yokai realms, and it works for curses. If you don't know what the curses are, if you have reached the point in the game where you fought the Owl Boss, or Gozuki or Mizuki, the brothers, the horse brothers I fought earlier in the video, when they shoot out those curse-looking eyes, and that's a curse. If that hits you while your Barrier Talisman is up, it won't do any damage and it won't stagger you. Alright? And of course, this is mandatory quick change if you don't know. That brings you back if you wipe. Alright? Now, going to my stats. I have had a bad habit of not putting this in my videos, so I'm going to make sure I do it now. Ideally, as you can see there below, I had redid my build. My stamina, guys, for the build in general will be at 50. I just was messing around, and at this part of the video, I had just left my stats here, but by the time I get done with this video and go back into my personal gameplay, this will be the way it needs to be for me. But for your stamina, to make that agility at the bottom go up, you want your stamina at least 50, because this is heavy armor we're wearing. And as you can see from other stats there as such, ideally your courage, it doesn't necessarily have to be that high if you're playing with, say, like the Switchglaive or the Dual Blades or whatever, but the courage is high for me because I'm playing with the Tonfas, and those are my favorite weapons. So I have the stuff set up the way I feel is necessary. Magic, if you are not a heavy if you're not a heavy Switchglaive user, magic can just basically remain at 40 because the cap of capacity seems to be stuck at 35. So there you go with that. Alright. Now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap this up. Let me go ahead and show you my Guardian Spirit and with what cores I'm using and why I'm using them. So again, for my Guardian Spirit, guys, I'm using Hakutaku. And this is the GOAT. And as you can see here, two main stats I'm focused on is Life Drain, which is for your lightning attack. And one thing I have been trying to figure out, and I'm not exactly sure if it works, is when you're using your Extraction Talisman and healing, if you're getting an increase in defense. I have not determined if that's the way that works as well. It could be, and it could not be. So, there you go. And as I continue to level up, I'll raise up my my skill or my dexterity some more, just 3 more points, and then I'll be able to get the Soul Core drop rate bonus. All right. And as you can see also, guys, for my secondary Guardian Spirit, I'm using the deer. Where is he? Here he is. I'm using Shinruku. And the reason I'm using Shinruku is to get that second bonus up top, which says Life Drain for strong attacks. So anytime you do a strong attack on top of your melee attacks in general, there's 50 life drain. Now, like I stated in my last build video, I do a lot of strong attacks with Tonfas. So, you know, there it is for that. So, other than that, just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Actually, I'll tell you what I did. Let me go back to my top and show you why I'm using the cores I'm using. Okay? So, this is the wrong one, I'm sorry. Oh, well, I'm getting lost now. Okay, here it is. Alright guys, so Hakutaku. So for my cores, I'm using Kasha. Kasha is by far one of my favorites. And the reason I like Kasha mainly is because she has a bonus on her core that allows you to move faster when you're absorbing Amrita. So that to me is important, and especially with you wearing heavy armor, that can help out a lot with movement, you know, so. Alright, and Gaki guys, Gaki. I know he's a small yōkai and all, but he has a bonus on his core that basically, let me show you what it gives you along with this build so you can understand why I'm using Gaki. Here it is, Gaki. This isn't the one I'm using, but this is one to explain what mostly it rolls with. Gaki has life drain on his yōkai ability hit, and if you don't know what he does, he simply just jumps out at an enemy and bites them. And when he does that, you absorb Amrita and thus comes back to you as health. Okay? And going back to my Guardian Spirit one more time, and I'm using Scampus. And the reason I'm using Scampus, guys, is because the roly-poly effect also considers itself as a hit. You know, you can absorb Amrita like that as well. And also for the defensive and offensive attack modifiers to make sure I'm all, you know, topped off and all that stuff. So I could probably use something other than Scampus because I'm only at 16 to 23. So I think I did a pretty good job with that. So. But alright guys, this was a fairly long explanation. I hope it wasn't too long. Hope you can bear with me. Anyway, let me get on out of here now, and I hope I was able to help you guys. And you know, if you feel like testing out my build, I appreciate it. You know, check it out, see if you like it. Again, also another thing, this build isn't specialized on one-shot damage. This is specialized on, you know, staying alive and, you know, playing in general. You know, so like, if you're running around just in general, you know, just staying alive, you know, staying alive as much as you can. It's not really based on one-shots, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So, but other than that, I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out my video. And if you have any comments or anything, you know, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section, you know, or if you ever want to hang out, do some co-op, you know, check me out on my channel. And that's about all. So you guys be safe, take it easy out there. Like I said in the last video, I said America last time, but I meant the world, and I truly mean that. It's a sad, sad time right now in the world with this this disease that we all know about that's going around. You know, everybody do a good job and take care of your hygiene, and, you know, be safe. Look out for your family. So, all right, guys, later. I'm out.